Hello and welcome to Your Opinion Sucks, the podcast where a couple of London-based students all get together on a regular basis, usually once a week. It's always once a week, I don't know why I said usually, and just get together, have a little chit-chat and a chinwag about movies, TV shows, video games, and whatever the fuck else is going on in the world of pop culture. My name is Nathan Bauer. I'm back from the dead after last week when I died and the boys did a brilliant job filling in for me. I am joined, as usual, by my co-hosts Garrett.
Hello.
Harry.
Welcome back.
And Harry has someone he would like to introduce.
I want to give a very special welcome to somebody we haven't before. Very, very welcome to you, Kai Young.
Hi.
I'm joking, it's Scarja.
It's me, your now two-time podcast appearance C.
This is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of live, I'll tell you something that isn't live right now.
Uh-huh.
The fucking Virgin Media Wi-Fi in our house.
How long was you planning that segue?
No, I just make it up on the spot. That's what I do.
Are you
That's
sure?
how I do it.
Okay.
I'm the king of segues.
I'm sure you are.
Speaking of segues, let me segue back to what I was saying.
What happened?
Sorry, Garrett. I just accidentally knocked Dr. Pepper over and then made a girlish scream.
Your Opinion Sucks, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Thank you, Dr. Pepper, for all your doctor goodness.
Give us money.
Give us money.
Segue from Dr. Pepper to Virgin Media.
Go.
The day was January 20th. I had just recently moved into the dwelling, which is the house we live in now. The rest of the boys had already lived there for a fair few months. We had a bunch of fucking faff, including like £800 deposits, paying £360 of rent from the previous tenant, paying for the cancellation fee, which she should have paid for. Whatever. I don't care if she fucking listens to this.
I mean, I doubt she ever will.
No. On January 20th, I thought, well, I play a lot of games. I brought my consoles over, and
Some would describe you as a nerd.
so some would describe me as a nerd, and it's a
Yes.
very apt description. I wanted good internet. I thought it would be good, and it's also a way of like me sort of, paying a fair share because Harry's currently paying for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I could take that over from him. So we get something through the mail, and it's like, oh, your street is ready for 200 megabit internet, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I want that shit. It literally was addressed to us. It said your street, great. We're literally on. Not going to say the name of the road. Just realised that. So I ring them up.
New Kent Road.
Actually, no, I do it online even, and they
Old
say,
Kent Road.
cool, that's just where we live.
I'll bleep it out.
Cool.
I won't.
Yes, we live in Greenwich.
Moderately young Kent Road.
Prepubescent Kent.
That was a beautiful moment, guys.
I do it online, and they say, okay, on January 23rd, between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m., 3 days later, pretty good, I'm thinking, we will send someone around, and you will be up and running. Pretty easy. They're going to, have a little fee for installation, whatever, absolutely fine. The day comes, a guy comes along, and he goes, oh, sorry, it's going to be a two-man job. We've got to wire it up, because we live on the second floor, or the first floor, because we're English.
First and second floor. Yeah, there's a shop on the ground floor, and below that is a spa.
There's a spa below?
There's a spa below the electronics shop.
We need to go in there.
Big up the spa.
Big up the spa.
No, it's
Sponsored
a-
by Your
it's
Opinion
a-
Sucks.
Oh, it's one of those spas.
Yeah.
It's one of those spas. Yeah,
Even-
give us money, Thai spa. Please.
Even more reason. Anyway, this
But you guys
Monday...
just been bare racist there.
No.
I
This
know.
Monday that the guy comes in, he's like, sorry, mate, like, I'm going to have to come back with another person. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. When? And he says, I will be back Friday. This guy who works for them says to me, I will be back Friday with someone else. I'm like, fine. Friday comes and goes. No one comes along. I give it a few days because I'm lazy as hell. And I ring them up and I say, what's going on? And say, oh, sorry, we can't get it to you. Closest we can do is 14th of February, Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I'm single.
You was not getting that puss.
I was not getting that puss boy.
Harry,
Getting
if
that
you
puss
will.
boy?
Yeah. Love it so much.
That's good.
Yeah.
That day comes and goes. That day fucking comes and goes. No one, no messages, no nothing. And I'm just pissed right the fuck off. So I ring them. I get hung up on after 2 hours on the phone, trying to get in contact with them. So I ring again, and it's another hour, and then they tell me, oh yeah, it's scheduled for February 14th. This is like 2 weeks after February 14th now, and it's anyway. They say, oh yeah, well, it will be another 3 weeks, but we'll tell you in a week. It is now 4 weeks later. It is now 4 weeks later, boys, and we still don't have Virgin Media Internet.
So So the audience listening at home, you can ring in or go on the website europeansucks.
You actually can ring into the show.
If
You call the number, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but you
Put it
can
on
ring it.
Twitter.
But it's not live anyway, so
call a number.
Call
and
a number.
whoever you end up calling, just hedge your bets on whenever we will end up with
dial
Virgin
the
Media
number
Wi-Fi.
4, and then who knows? Dial the number 4, and then who knows?
I mean, there's a very slim possibility, but there is a possibility that it is us when you ring, like
Probably
a
not,
random
though.
number.
Yeah.
So my favourite part of Garrett getting so upset about Virgin Media, because he really has nothing else in his life. His life is uni, Virgin Media, dwelling, and
Jokes about my dad leaving.
that's it.
And the cinema.
And so I loved it on Twitter when you tweeted
Yes.
at the Virgin Media thing to complain. And it was just the unnecessary insults that came along with it. You couldn't just be like,
Did you insult Virgin Media?
It had been a month and a half.
But
the
that's
first
not
one,
the poor guys running the Twitter
the,
account's fault, though, is it?
I need to take my stress out somewhere. I'm
the
sorry.
first tweet was 40 minutes on the phone to at Virgin Media, only to be hung up on. Sound, mate. They even play Rick Astley whilst you're on hold.
They
Utter
play
melt.
Rick Astley
You
while
got
you're on hold.
Rickrolled.
You get Rick rolled, and then you get fucking hung up on. Jesus.
If I may somewhat segue, I get Rick rolled almost every morning
Hello.
because Mr. Scott Archer sleeps in the bedroom next to me, and Mr. Scott
Kinky.
Archer has problems waking up
you?
sometimes. So there was one time when I had my girlfriend staying over, and
Did you do a... I'm sorry, that was very inappropriate.
yeah, you know her.
I know.
I'm going
She's
to-
a very good friend.
See, you're there with a tender, loving touch to wake you up in the morning. I've got fucking Rick Astley, all right?
Is Rick
Okay.
Astley your alarm?
Hold on,
Yes.
wait,
Why?
hold on. So, there's me. I think I woke up on this day at about 7:30 just to get up and ready. Scott, in typical fashion, also says, "Oh yeah, I'll put my alarm for 7:30 as well. We'll go by 9." It never happens. I always end up waking him up like at 10 to 9. Like, you awake, mate? So my alarm goes off, and I put snooze, and I'm sort of dozing, trying to wake myself up, and I can just hear through the wall, do. And so it starts playing. I'm like, oh, I actually quite like the song, so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll just enjoy this for a little
Does
bit.
anyone like that song? Like,
I
actually?
actually do, yeah.
Actually, I've stopped after a couple months of having it as my alarm.
And so it goes on, and it eventually finishes. I'm like, oh, okay. So it hasn't woken Scott up, obviously, but that's the alarm done. No, it starts again. So it began playing.
Did you have it on
And-
snooze?
What I do, because I struggle to wake up so bad, is I set an alarm every 10 minutes.
I do the same.
Yeah.
I do the same, yeah.
Which means that unconscious Scott will have to keep getting up, and eventually it'll work.
Goodbye.
And it has done in the past. But on this one occasion Harry is referencing, I think it took 7 goes, because I think on one of the last goes I set 3 more alarms to wake up to.
No, this isn't the circumstance I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it went off, and it continued to go off, and I was like, okay, I know what I'll do, because this song quite clearly doesn't trigger it in his mind anymore, but I know which song does, and it's his ringtone. I can't see me loving nobody but you.
So that from Shrek.
No.
No, what fucking
Yes,
movie?
it was sung by Shrek actually.
It was from the
yeah.
Simpsons movie when he's got the pig and he's dancing around a little field with him.
But anyway,
Yes.
but
But
anyway.
it is also in Shrek.
So
Yes.
I also knew that song, out of all songs, would probably wake him up. So I ring him, and then I can just hear through the wall and also through my phone a little voice like, "Hello," like, "Hey, wake up," and then I just hung up because
Amazing.
fuck you. keeping me awake with Rick Astley times 5.
Well,
I get Rick rolled in the morning.
as long as we're all apparently airing a personal grievance on the show right now. One thing I do want to bring up is, obviously, I was out of commission last week. I was vomiting and shitting like nobody's business. It was very unpretty. And you boys did a wonderful job taking over of hosting duties. Thank you, Garrett, for all that. But I have to say, I realised how incredibly stressful it is listening to the podcast and not being able to chime in with your own opinions, specifically when you're talking about Star Wars and specifically when you're getting stuff wrong about Star Wars. Yeah, it was very frustrating. But you did a good job. So I'm proud of you.
It's bittersweet, but I'll take it.
Yeah. You did a
Well,
good
since
job.
we're all airing grievances,
Also, I'd just like to say thank you for that beautiful touching tribute where you all sang Amazing Grace.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
of course. Since we're all airing grievances, I would like to grieve at the fact that I have nothing to grieve about. Nothing that comes to mind, anyways.
Proud of you.
But
Yeah, but thank you.
That's okay.
Yeah, nothing new to report since my last podcast, which I think was the one before the last one. In which
Maybe.
we talked about they spoilt Logan for me.
That wasn't a Hitler Oscar bait, was it?
No, Hitler Oscar bait was weeks ago.
Oh, I don't know.
This one was the one where you rang in as Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it was Nicolas Cage
Oh,
listens
Nicolas
to
Cage.
the show.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I remember that.
A good
He's a
one.
good guy. Good chap.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Let's get right into the news then.
Let us get right into the news. So I want to kick off with a little bit of numbers for you. You know that I love my numbers.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, Beauty and the Beast,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, is a recent movie. Although not really if you count the 1991 version, but it's a recent movie that came out and just broke like records across the board. Well, one specifically. It broke the record for biggest opening weekend. It made 174 million in its opening weekend, which it places it at number 6 for all-time opening weekends. Just behind number 1 is The Force Awakens, number 2 is Jurassic World, number 3 is The Avengers, number 4 is Avengers: Age of Ultron, and number 5 is Civil War. What's interesting there is 5 of the top 6 movies opening weekends, all Disney.
Yeah.
All Disney.
Yeah.
There's only one which is Universal, and that's Jurassic World.
And even that was, not exactly big news either. Like, it wasn't Jurassic World isn't exactly one of those films where you're going to look back on in a couple of years and think, oh, that was a classic. It was just.
I like Jurassic World. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It just didn't really ring any alarm bells. It didn't push anything forward. It was just there.
Yeah.
What also interests me is that in that weekend, Logan made 17 million and is now at 184 million, which for an R-rated movie with a budget of 90 million, that's in 2 weeks as well.
That's
pretty
what happens
fucking
though.
incredible.
Like Buzz, it starts off low and then escalates. I feel that I don't know what are the reviews of Beauty and the Beast.
It's mostly positive. Positive. There are quite a few people saying it's just shot for shot the original movie. Like questioning why bother.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it doesn't seem that bad, but it does seem like one of those films where it will have a cracking opening box office, and every country it opens in, it will do great, but it will taper off.
It will. Yeah.
Whereas films like Logan and a lot of the films that came out around the Oscar season, just it's like steady. It's almost like a steady growth even.
I don't know about you boys, but on my Facebook this past week, it has just been people like going to see Beauty and the Beast, like pictures of cinema tickets, and oh my god, it's so amazing. And like, I haven't seen it yet. I'm not really that fussed, to be honest.
Come watch. There's a Beauty and a Beast.
Twist and a gay man.
Game.
Let's all freak out.
That's one thing that I really hope dies of death sometime soon, is that I'm a pretty liberal progressive dude, and so seeing characters that are gay or some form of LGBT in films that are just sort of understated, great, sure, I actually couldn't care less, because that's how people work. People have different feelings and sexualities, etc., etc. But I hate those things like BuzzFeed. It was like, oh my god, Beauty and the Beast Disney has its first gay character. Sure, it's a big thing.
I don't think it's the first gay character. Is it?
First
Disney?
openly gay character, they say.
Yeah.
And it's bringing attention to something that it would probably be better for society if we didn't, because the more attention we bring to it, the more people are like, yes, like this is going to bring about sort of questions. As long as like I haven't seen the film, but I'm assuming this character doesn't, because if it's a shot-for-shot remake of Beauty and the Beast, there's no real sort of storyline there.
Apparently, he's quite a villainous role.
He's in love with Gaston, I believe.
In love with
Yeah.
Gaston.
Yeah.
But I've heard some criticisms of it, like, yes, it's an openly gay character, but he's constantly made to look like a fool. He's
Yeah, well, the character was back in the original.
Yeah.
And I think because okay, as someone who is one of the LGBT, as someone who is on that range, you can pick whichever letter you want for me. I don't really care.
Same.
L.
T.
Funny.
Ooh.
Actually, well,
Q.
There's a
Q.
plus.
I-
What does Q stand for?
I am the plus.
Queer.
You are the... Oh, does
Yeah,
it?
queer.
Think so.
Okay, yeah, cool.
As someone who's on that, like I've lost my train of thought.
Because you're a Q.
You're getting represented in some way. Is that the point you were getting?
Are you saying that
Okay.
you're Josh Gad from Beauty and the Beast?
Okay. Let me talk about my past and history. I've never felt persecution for my sexuality. I've never had to come out. I've never had to do anything, because I've been lucky enough to be around, probably because of like the career path I've chosen, you know, in drama and whatever. I've never had that persecution from anyone back home or anyone anywhere. When I say, like, you know, what I like changes, who I like changes. So I don't know, representation for me. I don't know. I never feel like I'm not represented because I am a white male. I'm represented. I don't know. I have no problem, obviously, with the character. And I feel like when people say, "Oh, there is the first openly gay character," Disney are finally doing this, making light of it is and highlighting it leads it open to that kind of criticism of it being a joke character
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
If it was just like, there is Gaston, there is this character, there are all the other characters, it would just it normalizes it all. It's just a character, which is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly what he is.
Well, that's the thing with Disney coming out and saying, "Oh, he's the first openly gay character. Yay, celebrate that!" And
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Woo woo!"
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing. There's also a parallel of gay marriage getting legalized as well, and they're like, "Woohoo! It's finally legalized!" And everyone's celebrating. And sure, they have the right to celebrate. I celebrate with them. But the question they don't ask is, why is it taken so long? Because apparently we're in such a progressive society where
We're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your answer. We're not.
Yeah, but and like it pats itself on the back a lot of the time for being progressive, when actually I'm just like, well, you've taken so long to do this, and like you said, even this character is supposedly a jokey character who's made a fool of all the time. Is that progress?
No, I think there's a bit of a difference, because with this, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know what the character's like. But if it can not just be the case that this character is gay and also the fool? Is he?
I completely agree. What a point I was going to say is, when people say, "Oh, here's our first openly gay character. Here's all of this," it suddenly becomes protected. They're like, "Don't you dare let this character have any flaws. Don't you dare let this character be a joke character, because now that it's been hyped up as first openly gay character or a big a character that will represent a vast majority of people."
Yeah.
Suddenly it has to be so protected, and people won't let it be a joke character.
Yeah, and when it comes to sort of adding like an openly gay character to previous Disney films, yeah, you're right. It's I'd say it's been a good sort of 25 years in Disney's new era. You know, since sort of like Pocahontas when it was released, or those sort of new age films. And the problem I have with it is that I feel like when it comes to being progressive, you have to make sure that it's a natural feeling. That's why we don't really live in that progressive society, because people are afraid of things just being forced upon them, because people don't like change. Naturally they don't. And so when it comes to that, when it comes to adding a gay character to a movie, it can't be crowbarred in. It has to be a part of that story.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this character, judging by what you've said, is a part of that story.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, the fact that he's in love with Gaston and Gaston's in love with Belle, and Belle's fucking a massive beast dude. And so when it comes to adding a gay character to, say, like Toy Story, why? What does that add?
Yeah, I've never cared about these toys' sexuality.
Yeah.
Why do I care? It's like when J.K. Rowling said Dumbledore is gay. I never once thought to myself, I wonder who this 200-year-old bearded wizard is doing with his penis.
To be fair, though, the fact that Dumbledore is gay does play into his backstory.
Yeah.
It does, and it is quite a big part of it as well. Also, just speaking of the fact that Harry, you're not a fan of change. Well, people are not a fan of change. People don't like change. We have some change in the studio.
What?
Because Kai is now here.
I would like to applaud that segue. That was nice.
That was
It
well
quite-
done.
I had that in my head for quite a while. So hold on, I can give me some real applause.
Oh my, wow,
Some real
wow.
applause from
Yeah.
our real
I can
audience.
give me some real applause.
Yeah,
That's wow.
I deserve it. So Kai, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Where the fuck have you been?
Yeah.
I've been rehearsing.
And where is Lawrence? At Lawrence Heisey. Where is he?
Right, let's all tweet
Lawrence
him right now.
Heisey is not available.
What a little prick.
What's he doing?
He's waiting on a call, a very important call.
From his
Oh.
mum.
Call that will take him far away.
Okay. Well, let's just back to the topic there for a moment.
Yeah.
Apparently, one of the Power Rangers is gay in the new Power
Yeah.
Rangers movie.
Really?
Isn't
Yeah,
the Red
the
Ranger as well?
No, the
No,
Yellow
that's,
Ranger.
Oh.
Trini.
I don't know who that is,
Ooh.
but one of the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, the
I
yellow
believe.
one, yeah.
She apparently they say she's gay.
It's fine.
Don't know. Haven't seen it.
Doesn't make any difference. I
Heard
never,
mixed
things.
I never, as a kid, cared about their
Well,
sexuality.
interestingly, it's the first gay superhero.
Disagree.
Ooh.
What you mean on a big
mean in-
screen
in
adaptation?
film?
On a big screen, yeah.
Did you not see Captain America and Bucky?
Yeah, they were very fucking gay.
Yeah, like I think that was the insinuation.
It's a bromance.
No.
Also,
It's a thin line.
gay. Pretty sure there's more gay characters.
like who?
Like
On
Mr. Terrific in Arrow, he's gay.
Yeah, but Arrow sucks.
No, he doesn't.
Arrow.
That's very good.
Ew.
On the big screen.
Okay.
We'll probably think of one midway through and just blurt
Yeah.
out the name.
Okay, cool.
What's
Yeah.
else? What
Gay
else is going on
superheroes.
in the news?
In the news, you may have seen recently, well, yesterday and today, Warner Brothers have been releasing short trailers for the Justice League trailer, which but I fucking hate this trend. Can we stop
Yeah,
doing
trailers
this?
for trailers.
Yeah, it does my fucking head in. The worst thing
The worst
I've
is
seen is a poster for a trailer for a trailer. Fucking stop that.
It's a poster for a trailer of a teaser trailer of a trailer of a film.
Stop doing this. I fucking can't.
Are you guys
sta-
excited about Justice League yet? Are you excited about Justice League yet? Are you excited about Justice League yet?
Okay,
We're
I'm just gonna
fighting the war against the Avengers.
Avengers,
The
yes.
Avengers.
I'm
A
just-
couple years too late.
I'm not that.
You looked for me. You looked to me for approval, and I was just like, I can't give it to you, buddy.
Okay, I'm honestly not that excited for Justice League, but some of the stuff in these little teasers did look fun. Not the Batman stuff, because he's just like shooting everything and everyone in his car. Like, chill the fuck out, Bruce.
They're just taking the piss. now.
Yeah, they are. That's just like a middle finger to everyone. But the Aquaman stuff looked quite cool, I thought. Jason Momoa.
I was slightly confused by it though, because all the pictures I've seen of Aquaman, he looks the part, like he's intimidating. But why in the teaser trailer, why is he fighting against the sea? What's going on?
He puts his well, it's not even a trident. It's like a fucking quindent, isn't it? Because it's got 5 points.
That's a fork.
Shut up.
His big fork.
His big fork. Okay. A fork has 4, doesn't it? I
Yeah,
don't know.
fork has
A
four.
fork,
Yeah.
a trident, and a fork are the same fucking thing.
It
A
was
fork can have 3 prongs.
it
A
was
fork
a-
is just something you stab.
It was a joke.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Okay.
Killed it.
They also released a poster, and our boy Batman has a new suit. Kind of.
Oh, yeah,
new
here it is.
suit. Here it
Just a
is.
bit. They were like, They were like, okay, we get it. You like more color. We made it a little bit lighter grey.
but in one specific area
Yeah.
only.
On his titties.
On his titties. First I saw this, I thought that's just fucking dumb. That fucking mark on his chest just stands out like a sore thumb. But then I realised that's the point of the signal. It's supposed to draw the line of fire if he gets shot.
Yeah.
It's where people will aim for, and it's the most armoured part of his suit.
Yeah.
Which is always the quite an interesting part of Batman. So it makes sense, but it still looks fucking dumb though. I think.
I'm incredibly underwhelmed.
Isn't it supposed to be like a throwback to the original Batman costume where he had the bat? Like,
the
on
cowl
his
does look
chest?
very Adam West. I'm not gonna lie.
It
The
looks
cowl
like
weirdly
a
Adam West.
combination of Adam West and fucking Watchmen.
Yeah.
His suit, he's got like a tactical suit, which does look a lot like Owlman from Watchmen.
Yeah, I think it's Owlman.
Yeah, he does look a lot like Owlman from Watchmen. An Owlman. Yeah.
An Owlman.
So by the time this podcast is out, the full trailer for the Justice League will be released. But
Well, what do you think it's going to be like?
it's
Lame.
more icky thump guitar riffs and
Bam.
Barry Allen cracking out one line.
I have a question about Barry Allen because I just couldn't tell with him. I thought the actor in the small little teaser trailer we got was kind of interesting, you know.
Ezra Miller, yeah.
Yeah, but the pictures I've seen of him in the costume, I'm like, doesn't really look.
Doesn't look like the costume fits him.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
Yes, it is.
It looks like he's just kind of like crammed into it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see Fantastic Beasts?
No.
He had the worst haircut of all time in that movie.
A little bit of throwback. Owlman is a villain to Batman. Night Owl is the.
That's it.
Is Owlman from the Court of Owls?
I don't think so.
No, Owlman is alternate universe Batman who tries to destroy the entire universe.
Cool. So when are they going to bring Nightclaw into it?
I don't know who that is.
Nightclaw is the amalgamation of both Wolverine and Batman.
Oh, of course.
I don't know any of these people.
It's comics bullshit.
Yeah, it has.
They kill people, resurrect them. They're doing it again. They're resurrecting Bruce Banner and Wolverine right now, in the comics.
Yay.
Yay, comics.
They'll always find a way. I mean, comics are like a bit like Doctor Who in the respect that they can do anything because they can justify it in any way they can.
Doctor Who really can't do anything to
Yeah.
justify it in any way.
Like they're like, oh, it's Rose Tyler. Why? Because she got it's time power. There was a time
It's
crystal.
wibbly wobbly.
wasn't one of the things like, I can't remember what you guys were talking about, but I overheard you like talking about a human was a bomb.
Yes, don't
yeah.
A human was a bomb, and it's just like you turn that fucking
yes,
phone
I'm
off.
sorry, I can't. Yeah, I'll turn it off now. Basically, there was an episode of Doctor Who where he was fighting the Daleks, and the Daleks had made a human person. Well, a human-looking person.
A human person.
A human person. You may
One
know
of them.
You may have seen them around. They had a bomb, which was a robot.
Oh, actually, no, I do
disguised as
remember
a
that.
human. Do you
Where
remember?
the Daleks were
Yeah.
like chained up and shit.
And then he was like,
It was with
and
Winston
then
Churchill.
yeah, it was with Winston Churchill, and then this guy figured out he was a bomb, and he was like going to explode. And he was freaking out, like, "Well, I'm a human. I've had a whole life. I don't want to do this." And then the doctor was talking to him, just saying, "No, you're not a bomb. You know why? You're human. So you're going to beat it. So that clock is going to stop ticking because you're human. And if you feel it, you will not be a bomb anymore. You will be a human. And what do you know? It works."
I would have loved it if it had just blown up in his face.
Yeah.
That would have been brilliant.
I know.
That's how they dispose of bombs on the battlefield.
Yeah.
I love
They shout
Doctor
at the
Who.
bomb like, "You are a person, Mr. Bomb."
I love Doctor Who.
I'm just
I know.
I'm just
love
imagining
Doctor
like some
So
dude
do
like
I.
snuggled up next to an IED, just like, look, you don't have to do this yourself, all right? You're human at heart.
The Hurt Locker would have been a very different film.
Probably would have been
It's just
better. No, I
Jeremy,
love it.
Jeremy Renner in like a therapist's outfit, and he just like
Hold the fuck up.
I said therapist's outfit. Shut up.
What the fuck is that?
Like fuck off. It's just like a heavy armor therapist suit.
What's a therapist suit?
It's just a suit that looks inviting, you know.
It's a spongy suit. Just
Well,
in
you
case,
don't
like,
you don't
Spongy.
you don't go to the
spongy.
therapist.
You know, you get like sponge rooms. Like, it's just. I don't know. What is happening?
My
Next
perception
topic.
of my
Next
perception
topic.
of reality is fucked.
Next
Like
topic.
a padded room as clothing.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, next topic. you know your boy here loves some Star Wars.
We do indeed.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure, why not?
This boy specifically loves some Star Wars. It's my favorite franchise.
Sorry.
So Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
You may
Yes.
have heard of it.
Yeah.
It's a movie which did okay.
Oh.
Did it?
No, it was shit. It was a total box office bomb. No, it's pretty good. It came out. It's available on digital download now, as I just said, possibly. And some stuff has come out. Some information has come out that when it went through extensive reshoots, there was a different ending altogether that they had in mind. It's not been confirmed if they actually shot this, so whether we'll see this ever, we don't know. Maybe it was just a concept that was scrapped. Maybe they shot it. We don't know. But the rebel heroes had managed to secure the Death Star plans and then uploaded them to their white allies just before the tropical sand of Scarif was blasted out from under their feet, turning them all into martyrs, whatever that fucking means. They're all dead. But the writers didn't initially explore this idea since they feared Disney would find it too dark for the brand. When they finally decided to let the hero succeed in the mission but fail to return, they had to get the okay from Disney Lucasfilm, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. This early happy ending was, they had a different ending in mind, which was with Bodhi, which was played by Riz Ahmed and the rest of the team.
Yep.
Originally had Sergeant Urso Jin enlisted as a soldier rather than a recruited criminal, and Cassian was originally a double agent for the Empire.
Who was Cassian?
The
Han Solo type.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Mexican Hispanic guy. He was originally a double agent for the Empire, and it was revealed that he was going to turn on them, but because he bonded with the team and stuff, because as these things always go, he decided that no, he would defect to the rebellion.
Yeah.
And he would join these people. And whilst as they flew off Scarif, they managed to get off Scarif, and they ended up blowing the ship up because they were being chased by Vader and his team. So they effectively committed suicide in an attempt to fucking get away from Vader. So yeah, there you go.
The ending we got was better.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm really happy with the ending we got, because when we saw it in the cinema, we were just sat there slack-jawed.
Yeah.
When those credits rolled, because it was beautiful.
It was impactful because it, like, Rogue One did this really nice thing that I've always liked in movies, where they give you these lovely range of characters, and throughout the whole thing you're like, wow, they're so cool, they're so deep in their meaning, and then it just picked them off one by one, breaking all my hopes and dreams, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it.
Did you knew they was going to die, though? Going into that, did you know all of them was going to die?
I thought some would live and some wouldn't. I didn't know all of them would.
I was still
Spoilers.
banking on them being the Knights of Ren, but there's still hope.
I had a gut feeling that all of them were going to kick it in that movie. I did initially thought that Vader would kill them all, which would have been quite cool, although I'm really happy with the Vader scene we did get.
Yeah.
One thing that I wouldn't have liked about that is that, okay, let's I'm going to use a wrestling analogy. Coming up at WrestleMania is AJ versus Shane McMahon. AJ is supposed to be the bad guy, but we love him so much that he's not. With that, it's difficult to know who to cheer for. When it comes to that, Vader killing these characters who we've just got to know and love, it's difficult to then care about their death, because Vader's there and you're so excited.
Yeah, that's true. That is true, actually. That is a very good point. There was also another slightly different ending, which would have had Krennic getting off the battlefield at Scarif. He would have survived the Death Star blast, only to return to the Imperial Star Destroyer. And what would you know? Vader.
That would be cool.
That would have been quite cool. And I think that has been shot, because in the trailers there's different shots of Krennic and Vader talking that we didn't see in the movie. And then there was that shot, if you remember, of him walking through the battlefield with all the dead stormtroopers around him.
Yes.
There was that shot which we didn't see in the movie either, so who knows?
I would have liked to see that.
I would quite like to
Next
see
topic.
that too, but I'm quite glad we didn't. I just closed off a topic. Has anyone finished or started or watched any of Iron Fist?
I finished it.
You finished it?
Mm-hmm.
I am about, I think, 5 episodes in.
5 episodes
I'm
in?
about 4.
I haven't touched it.
Okay. Well, you're probably the smartest person here, Scott, to be honest, because I finished it. It's tough.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Why are we not the smart?
Oh no, I think you're overviewing the fact that I'm the smart.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because you watched Iron Fist.
Oh, I see.
I
Yeah.
really
Okay,
enjoyed it.
From what we've seen so far, me and Harry both agree that we came into it with really low expectations.
So did I.
I enjoy it so far. Like, it's hardly blowing me away, but
I enjoyed it at
enjoyable.
first because when we first started watching it, the reviews that came out saying it was fucking awful and it was the worst thing to ever happen to TV. It's not. It's not
Not
that
at
bad.
all.
It's bad, but it's not that bad at all. It starts off okay, and then to me it just gets worse and worse and worse. I think it peaks at episode 6, and then from there it's just all downhill.
See, I really enjoyed most of it until the very end, which I won't spoil anything. But
Alright, spoiler alert, this show has 2 endings. Like, the show ends, and then there's a whole nother episode, isn't there? Which is... These Netflix shows, they need to have, like, 10 episodes. 13 episodes is way too much, I think.
yeah, I agree.
And that has been more apparent to me in Iron Fist than in anything.
I did really enjoy it though, like despite flaws that I could list but can't be bothered.
Colleen Wing was the best part of the show.
She
It should have been her show.
Okay, from an outsider's perspective, all of you have of course watched it to some degree. I have no absolute ruddy clue what it's about, what the plot is. So could I get a quick overview?
It's about a weird, unlikable white guy who is the master of kung fu, and he comes back to New York because he went missing, and he's originally from New York,
Yeah.
but now he's back, and he's rich, and he wants to take over his company, but he doesn't, but he does, and he wants to fight the Hand,
Oh,
and then he
God.
wants to marry Colleen Wing, but he
You
doesn't.
can't get a
It's-
brief overview of this show.
Yeah, kid goes on cultural exchange, comes back and beats up some Asian people.
Yeah, it's I don't like it.
That
Sounds like my trip to Thailand. Yeah.
it just no that hasn't sparked my.
What do you think of it so far, Harry? Are you enjoying it?
I think it is incredibly slow.
It really is,
I
yeah.
watched the first 3 episodes, and I was surprised at the fact that I'd only watched the 3 because
Do you think if you'd have watched this one before, say, Daredevil, you would still think it was slow? Or are you comparing it to the action scenes in Daredevil, which are so fast paced and like?
I think
No,
I
not
would
right.
have,
Yeah,
personally.
that's the thing. The action is fast paced, but the scenes last just as long as in Iron Fist. It's just that they're more likable characters and it's written better.
yeah, I'd say that's accurate. I think comparatively to Daredevil, I'm not thinking like that. It's definitely a different show, which I like.
Yeah.
Because I think that Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage were all very similar in their sort of styles, or at least the rhythm that they followed. And I like the fact that Iron Fist is somewhat different, but it is rather slow.
No, I agree. I think it's slow as well.
Finn Jones, he's bouncing back and forth for me personally as to whether or not he's doing a good job. In some moments, he's really sort of bringing out the character. In other points, specifically when he's shouting, which didn't seem like the character of Denny Rand for me at all. Very strange.
I was confused by that at first. I know you brought this up last week briefly with Lawrence, that there's moments where he just gets really angry for no reason. That is addressed later on, isn't it? They do specifically address his anger and the reason for that, kind of.
Okay.
It's not just like a weird characteristic. It does pay off in some kind of way. But
What is the scientific justification for his super duper punchy thing?
he harnesses his chi. That's all you'll get, by the way. Don't expect anything else.
Oh, do they not explain it? Do
No.
they not?
They-
But that's the coolest thing about
sort of
Iron
do.
Fist.
They don't explain it in any way.
They sort of-
they hint at the whole
Yeah.
dragon thing,
Yeah.
but no.
Wait, so
bullshit.
what is the whole thing for?
He
Iron
punched
Fist's
the
character?
heart out of a dragon.
Right.
How fucking cool would that be? And yet they don't put it in.
They don't put it in. You do see a brief clip of another Iron Fist, one before him from like the World War II era, who's got 2 Iron Fists. That was probably the coolest part of the show.
How?
Oh, so it like goes from Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
If your show isn't the most interesting story you could possibly tell, why are you telling it?
Also, there's not enough Iron Fisting in the show. The show's called Iron Fist. He uses his fist like about 10 times in total.
Yeah,
through the
I'd
entire
agree with
series.
that.
And there's
I
only
would like to see more of that.
And there's only really one moment in the entire series where he uses the full potential of it. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Spoilers, but
Um,
yeah.
watching
Yeah.
it because the biggest where
Yeah.
the biggest criticism of the show is the lack of fight scenes, especially comparatively to Jessica Jones, the Luke Cage, and Daredevil. Definitely. What I like to think about is the upcoming Defenders is that Iron Fist harnesses his chi in his fist and can like blow off doors and everything and destroy everything with this chi in his fist. Luke Cage, he has impenetrable skin. He's Power Man. He can throw people. He can punch people. Oh, he's scary. Jessica Jones. Oh, mopey dopey doo. Oh, I'm a drunk. Oh, I'm a detective. But guess what? I too have impenetrable skin and I throw people around and I give them a big old punch. Daredevil. I'm blind, but I have a stick.
And a can-do attitude.
Yeah, like it's just backwards for me. The fact that Daredevil is
like probably the strongest, not like physically strongest, but like he could probably do the most damage.
Yeah.
I think, in the fight. I mean, yeah, Luke Cage
Are you
could just like
kidding me?
slap them.
I'm
but-
sorry, do you not remember the part from Luke Cage where a man tried to punch him and broke his wrist? And
Yeah.
broke his own wrist trying to punch Luke Cage.
Yes, but Daredevil has more skills than Luke Cage.
Yeah.
In
Daredevil has
fighting
more
especially.
agility.
Yes, but that doesn't count for shit when it comes to being shot at.
The thing is, like, if you say to someone, like, who'd win in a fight, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, or Daredevil,
Me.
a lot of them would say Daredevil because they relate to the character more, and they'll be like, oh, but the character will think of a clever way to do the things.
Like the old Batman justification.
Yeah. Yeah, like, for God's sake, who'd win in a fight between Batman versus Superman? See sense that Superman is a god. He's
Superman should just look at him, open up
Yeah.
his fucking laser vision, and then he'd be dead.
Yeah.
That's
Much
literally
much like the argument is with all of them, Daredevil would win in a fight, for he sells more comics.
Yeah, and that's the way the cookie crumbles.
What are you, some kind of fucking nerd?
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucking nerd.
Actually, I don't know if he does recently. I don't know how if there is a current run or. If
I don't
it's
think
been
there
for
is a
while.
current run at the moment.
In that case, who would win in a fight between Spider-Man and Batman?
Me.
Ooh.
Spa.
Batman.
Which Batman? Because Batman now is killing anyone.
That's
But
true. He'd
Batman
probably just
before-
shoot him out of the sky with a 9mm.
Glack.
Glock.
Christian
'cause-
Bale Batman?
Oh, it's definitely Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely.
That Christian Bale Spider-Man had no real fighting
The
skills.
Christian Bale Spider-Man. Yes, the Christian Bale Spider-Man.
Where's Aunt May?
Where is my uncle? Uncle, someone knows where Uncle Ben is.
I don't know what to do with that. Is there any more news?
Let's change the
I
topic.
failed you, Master Parker. Is that like a new segment? You know,
God.
it's a trap segment.
It's a trap.
I don't
fucked
understand
that
these sound bites.
up. Shut up.
Oh yeah, are we now including the? Pardon me.
Oh, good for you.
There it is.
Oh, good for you.
Why do we allow Nathan in the booth?
Because
I'm sorry I was late, guys.
Fuck.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Are we now?
Are we now doing the regular weekly Dweller segment where we catch you up on all the Dweller news?
Can I just mention two more quick things?
Oh, yes,
Okay,
sir.
just casting
Oh.
announcements. A reboot, reimagining, remake, whatever you want to call it, of the classic Doctor Dolittle.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, no.
in the role. So
Why not? He needs some kind of downtime before Avengers films.
yeah, sure, why not? And then Cable. Not an announcement, just rumors floating around at the moment. Two names: Brad Pitt and Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon sold from Superman.
Either of them I could be okay with. I think I'd prefer
Russell Crowe.
Stephen Lang.
John Hamm.
Me.
Stephen Lang would be good.
I don't know. I trust.
Pierce
It's one of
Brosnan.
those. It's one of the
Idris
Brosnan.
Elba.
one of the films and cast that and crew that I trust to pick these characters better than I
Is
could.
Sean Connery still alive?
Yeah.
Just about.
I mean, he's getting on, but
about.
he's still going.
No, I'm
Sean
serious. I'm
Connery-
pretty sure he's like 90. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
ill.
Let's have Sean Connery play him.
He hasn't been in a movie since like 2003.
Deadpool can make it work. I mean, hell, get
Yeah.
Betty White to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I when he said that, I thought it was like confirmed at that point.
I've already put legal tender down about Betty White being in it.
Are you sticking
swear
by
you-
your Wolverine bet?
Yes,
I
because I already made it.
What's your
okay,
Wolverine
good
bet?
point.
that he's going to cameo.
I really don't think he will.
After Logan, I'm doubting it, but I'd still.
But I hope it's a
And I
cameo
hope,
in the
he
suit.
doesn't. I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, I want
Because
that
that was yeah. I mean, no spoilers.
It was a nice send-off.
But it was a nice send off for the character. When
Yeah, no, I agree.
When he packed his bag and walked down that dusty road.
Yeah, I think I don't know. The casting seems fine for that.
Yes.
And Robert Downey Jr. Sure.
He's a good actor. He is a really good actor.
Yeah.
Most people think he's just a gimmick, but he's not. He's really good.
No, he's great.
So yeah, all right. Give us your fucking Dweller rundown or whatever.
All right, so we've now got a theme tune, and so here it is for you.
Good for you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Won't you come on down to the dwelling? We'll have some fun and games. Won't you come on down to the dwelling? All the boys and dames. We'll have some fun and other stuff, and maybe we'll have sex.
Come on
Down to the dwelling, it really is the best.
Yeah.
So recently in the dwelling,
Well, can I not react to that in any way?
recently at the dwelling,
Is Harry leaving?
oh, he
Stretching.
hurt his back.
That was fucking dreadful. But sorry.
Good job, guys.
Recently at the dwelling, we went through with the idea of the brand split.
Yes.
So it's now basically me and Scott. Me and him are it's me and Alex.
No, it's you and Alex and me and Harry.
And we're in two separate sort of factions and sections.
Is this the video we watched last week?
We filmed, I think 7 or 8
Okay.
last week.
So you never.
Yeah, last Sunday we filmed 8 videos.
Yeah.
Penfold
of different
made a
matches.
Penfold made a cameo. Harry's dad.
Yeah, my dad. So we have the two.
Shout out to Harry's dad.
Yeah,
out.
we have two brands. Alex Penfold, whom we know. Is
Shout out to Alex Penfield.
my dad, Alex Penfold. Excuse me. Alex Penfold is the general manager of Dwar, the brand on which Scott and I. Hello.
That was Siri. Don't worry about it.
Siri.
Yeah, Alex Penfold is the general manager of Dwar.
Yep. And my dad is the general manager of Smackdwell. And we call him up, and he gives us things to do, despite the fact he is in Sweden and works. So we had Galaroo Day, which is our big event of the month.
I'd like to get involved in that sometime.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can come along.
definitely.
You can.
It looks horrifying.
One thing that one of the main reasons we did the Dwar and Smackdwell thing is because 2 people at any given time aren't able to compete for the main Dwellers Cup. So now Smackdwell have a belt and Dwar have a belt that they can compete for.
Yeah. So
It's just and we designed it out of cardboard. You can see it on screen now.
ta-da.
What?
Were you paying attention?
No.
He
Sorry.
wasn't listening.
Sorry. What?
Nor was
Well,
I.
just the gist of it. Anyone can compete for. We got new prizes like cardboard belts.
Cardboard belts.
Yeah, one for each one. The Bhutan states and the Intercontinental. One for Dwar and one for Smackdwell, and anyone can compete for them from outside.
You can see
of
them
the
on
dwelling.
screen now.
Ta-da!
But yes, you can come in and challenge us to the belts, and if you get it, we're gonna have to try and somehow get it back from you.
Can I bring up this really has nothing to do with the whole dwelling thing,
Yeah, go
although
for
it kind of does. There's something I want to happen. I think I already told you about this. Basically, before Fast and the Furious 8 comes out,
Yeah.
did I told you about this? Yeah. I think that we should all get together, possibly at the dwelling, possibly somewhere else,
Maybe.
and we should have some beverages, some beers, and we should marathon the entire Fast and the Furious
In one day.
In one day, drinking beers,
yeah,
and some variety.
Somehow make a drinking game out of it.
Yes.
And make it an endurance challenge at the same time.
Yes, and then
Well, I
the
don't
next
like
day-
beer, so I'll have the
Well, you
good
can
old
have
So
vodka.
WKD or Smirnoff Ice.
and then the next day we can
Either
come
one
in into the studio and talk about our experiences and the Fast and the Furious franchise in general, and
But
how
we
and
have
how
to do
drunk.
it. We have to do it in 10 minutes because it's the fast podcast,
Yes, and
and we have to do it angrily.
the
maybe
pod fast.
the 2 Fast 2 Furious. So yeah, thoughts, Harry? You don't look impressed by the idea.
Harry doesn't look anything right now.
So recently I was diagnosed with depression, and and so that's why I've been sad dad. And more recently I've been feeling better. But hey, fuck you. I'm not. No, we're not doing that.
Why?
Because why would we do that to ourselves?
Because it'd be fun.
No, it wouldn't.
Fast and
No,
Furious
okay.
are fun movies to watch.
I've said this before. I hate the argument.
Oh, well, you're gonna like what
Hey,
we're getting to soon enough.
Tokyo Drift is fun.
I've never
Tokyo-
seen any of them, so
Tokyo Drift is the best one and should be just a standalone film because out of all of them, that is the most fun. It's like campy fun.
I think Fast Five is the best one.
But
Or maybe the one where Paul Walker doesn't die.
the rest of them, especially like 1 and 2, because they're now
Those are
so
awful.
they're now so early noughties
Yes.
that they're like frosted tips. Paul White's frosted tips.
Paul Walker.
Walker,
yeah, Paul White. I don't know who that is. Paul White's frosted tips.
What?
Honestly, no, I am not doing that because I have better things to do with my life.
That's why I say we make it an endurance challenge, like when people watch
Oh, yeah, how long
screenings
can
of
you
The
last?
Room.
Yeah, how long can you last?
How long
yeah.
can you last? Because I personally dislike the films.
Wait,
to
did
a
you
heavy
mention The
extent.
Room? Who's watching The Room and not watching that masterpiece all the way through?
I know, right? I people say like it's Fast and Furious to me is like The Room, where I heavily dislike it and everything it stands for, but I love it
the room
because
is that the one
of
with-
its just general badness.
Is The Room the one with the just awful acting, like
Um,
no vocal ability?
I think
Tommy
it's-
Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau.
Everyone
It's
shut
down
up.
to your preferences.
Oh yeah, I've seen this clip.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her.
I did not.
I did
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hey, Johnny, what's up?
It's that bit which I love
it's
the most.
just
Oh,
the
hi,
fun-
Mark.
I did not hit her. I did not. It's such bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, it's
It's so good.
My favourite line from that film is when he goes, "I'm fed up with this world."
anyway. How's your sex life? yeah.
Mine's the whole "you're tearing me apart." It's just it's a
Yeah.
Lisa, you're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Okay, so earlier I put out a tweet on my personal Twitter at @NathanBarrow_ if you feel okay, saying we're about to record the podcast. Who want send in a message or whatever if you want a question or blah blah blah. And our very own dog boy, Mr. Lawrence Heisey, replied in, and he posed a question: if a bear and a shark had a fight, who would win?
That obvious answer to that is what's the situation?
That's exactly what Garrett said. That's exactly what I said. Are they on land? Are they in water?
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
I think we have to find the best of both worlds.
Twist, polar bear.
Polar bear versus shark.
Yeah.
Shark.
Shark.
Uh,
Has a
No,
speed.
okay, no. The polar bear has like the added benefit of limbs, right?
Yes. You can punch it.
No, limbs.
You can punch the shark.
As someone
Like
who
Lara Croft in
as someone
Tomb
who
Raider 2.
has in the past owned limbs,
In the past.
I know how beneficial they are to a fight. Okay,
But so are like 12 rows of razor sharp teeth.
Yeah.
polar bears are fucking vicious.
So
They
a
are strong.
shark.
They are strong and vicious.
I can
I
count.
think we also need to establish what shark.
Great white.
I can
We
count.
go
Yeah,
classic Jaws.
Yeah, classic
Okay.
great white jaws. I can counter that. Have you ever been in a pool and tried to like punch? It's fucking difficult.
Batman can do it. No problem. Remember when
So-
he knocked out Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad?
Nah,
Yeah.
Kill me.
you try punching water. It's like whoa, it's like slow motion. Bear wouldn't be able to do that.
It's like the
Yes,
Matrix.
yes, it would because it does that. That's how it catches fish.
Nah, with
He's
his mouth.
right.
Garrett is he's right. He's right.
You know.
He did.
If you're getting this information from where I think you're getting this
Bye,
information,
Scott.
I can
Bye.
question that definitely.
That's a personal.
Where is he getting this information?
No, that's not important. But I propose a new situation.
Yes.
It's in the air.
It's in the air.
So
What, as
we,
in-
we drop.
Oh, free fall.
We
Free
drop
fall.
we drop a bear and a shark.
Do they have
from a plane.
parachutes?
Like,
Oh,
like,
eventually, yeah.
like
Okay.
Hitchhiker's Guide, Whale, and Plant Pot.
Uh,
I'm the only one that gets that reference.
Yep.
I got the reference.
So we drop them both, and then maybe we fly them both at each other, and then
Are we attaching like rockets to them? Can someone control the
Okay,
rockets?
where the fuck did that come from?
Well, he said fly them at each
Okay,
other, so
okay.
I
No,
just assumed
okay.
like, they would be on
Just
some
strap
sort
a
of...
jetpack on a bear
Yeah.
and a shark.
decorum, gentlemen. I have something to propose. The cage in which Thor was in Avengers
Do you
Assemble.
mean the Hulk?
Yeah,
The cage Hulk.
the
was
glass
it?
oh
box.
yeah, the Hulk. Oh no, yeah, the glass box that Thor was in.
Sorry, yes.
Put said, fill it like half up with water, plonk the shark in there, plonk the polar bear in
I'm
there.
pretty sure a great white is bigger than that entire fucking room.
No.
No, Thor.
Great whites are fucking big, man.
They are
It was
big.
it was designed for the Hulk.
Fair, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So plonk them in there and then drop them, and whatever one dies first in their little fight, I suppose, because they're both going to die when they hit the ground.
No, we gave them parachutes. I don't want them to die.
That was such
Okay,
an evil
okay.
laugh.
Animal death. Ha ha ha. But no, like say plonk them in that scenario. Let's give them parachutes. The survivor has their little parachute.
But
and
parachutes won't matter inside a glass box.
How are you going to explain to a shark? Like you've already had the difficulty of taking it out of the water and attaching a parachute to it. How are you going to? I'm assuming via like radio or headset, be like, "Shark, quickly pull the chute, pull the chute." It's just
No.
like or whatever.
It's quite
whatever.
simple. It's quite simple.
Oh.
You just douse the bear in blood,
But-
and then naturally the shark will be attracted to it. I've seen Jaws.
Marine biologist
think-
Nathan Bauer.
I think a complex system of pulleys maybe for the parachute. I don't know. Anything can be solved. Anything can be solved
By a
with a
complex
complex
system
pulley
of pulleys.
Okay,
Yeah.
fucking MacGyver over there.
All I need is a paperclip, some string, and
A kettle.
A complex system of pulleys.
complex system of pulleys.
We also have another little shout out here from Will Carter. I don't know if you guys know Will.
Probably.
He's a friend of Lawrence's, which has
I
also
know
become
Will.
which has
I
also
know
become a
Will.
friend of ours.
Yes.
He just said shout out to my dog Floss, and then Lawrence tweeted underneath that, do this one or I'm actually quitting.
Who would win in a fight? A great white shark, a polar bear, or his dog Floss?
Oh no.
But
Or Dog
it's
Boy.
in space. It's
Or
in
Dog
space.
Boy.
It's in space, so no complex pulley system, parachute needed. I reckon. Oh, now a dog will be difficult to catch. In like the polar bears.
but of course, a shark and a bear, very easy to catch.
I don't know about
I
you,
was-
but I've
I
caught
was-
many sharks and
I
bears
was-
in
Do you
my
think?
time.
Do you
I
think
was
that
referencing size.
the dog would take a seat back, let the
Yeah,
shark
let
and
them
bear
fight.
Let them fight.
Let them fight. What's that from?
Godzilla.
Yes, Ken Watanabe. What a hero. Speaking of Godzilla, segue. Kind of. King Kong.
Hello there, and welcome to Peter Jackson's King Kong, the movie, the video game, the movie podcast, starring me, Harry Fleming, as King Kong. I really like that movie, and
Why do you like that movie so much, Harry?
because it's an epic in every single fucking way. And
Name one way.
King Kong.
Okay.
No, I don't really know where to start with it because I feel like I need to defend it immediately because I know that many people aren't that as much of a fan as I am. I feel like a lot of people I've talked to about it have been like, "Oh yeah, I really like it. It's just a bit too long." And here's my defense of why King Kong is suitably 3 hours long and why it doesn't if it can't be shorter. In fact,
It is too long, mate. I mean,
I challenge you.
I
and
recently watched it, and that boat.
I challenge you because I promised myself I'd say this to anyone that would say that. I challenge you to go and watch it and download it, find some way, and then edit it yourself into a good movie at an hour and a half.
I mean, I can barely edit a podcast, so
No comment.
wow, harsh.
I think the original King Kong was iconic in the same way that Citizen Kane was iconic. It sort of revolutionized.
Iconic for the time.
Yeah.
If you watch it now, as Kai recently did.
Yeah, and
shit.
like
No.
the difference, the big difference between Citizen Kane and the original King Kong is that the original Citizen Kane didn't get a big budget remake.
No, and it never will, probably.
No,
Yeah,
of course
ever.
not.
Have you seen Kong Skull Island?
No.
Yes.
No.
I have. It's quite
Me
good.
too.
Okay, so are you one of the believers in Kong Skull Island being better than Peter Jackson's The King Kong, the movie, the video game, the movie?
In In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. I think overall, Skull Island will take it.
I don't know if you can compare
And
them
Harry
that well,
is
though.
taking off his headphones, and he is leaving the studio. Goodbye, Harry. We love you. He left his stuff. He's literally gone.
He let the door
He
close.
cannot get back in without our
which
help.
really does suck because
Yes. Now he literally
get in.
cannot get back in.
he's now
He's-
puppy dogging
he's-
at the door.
Ah, here he is.
Anyway,
He's back. A hero's return.
I
Although not
personally,
really.
as
Yes.
someone who has seen both of these films,
Same, me too.
believe that the Kong fight scenes with the what are they called, the skull
Whatever
crawlers.
John C. Reilly calls them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he thought he sounded cooler in his head.
Yeah.
Was not as entertaining as Peter Jackson's.
I thought that
Z-Raptor.
overall the three-way
Z-Rex.
fight between
Z-Rex.
the dinosaurs and Kong in Peter Jackson's version is incredible. That being said, I still really enjoyed the action in Skull Island.
Oh yeah,
I
but
thought it was amazing.
it felt very Zack Snyder, like the you were saying the 300 scene.
Yeah, oh my god, the 300 scene.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know, there's a moment in the movie, an action scene, where Tom Hiddleston runs in slow motion, picks up a samurai sword,
It's awful.
and then proceeds to cut down bugs, big bugs.
It's birds.
Those
isn't it?
weird birds
Some
like
sort of
pterodactyls
strange birds.
in like a 300 style action
Yeah.
scene.
With
It's
the like
so out of
with
place.
this gas mask on, while this
Yeah.
this fluorescent green smoke like clouds him, and
Yeah.
he's just like
And then he
like,
just takes
slicing
off the
past
gas
slow
mask.
motion as it cuts something in half, and
And then he just takes off the gas mask.
It lasts about 5 seconds. and
It's
just
awful.
awful.
but it feels like
True.
3
It
hours.
feels
It
like
feels like
and not a
ages.
good 3 hours, much like watching Peter Jackson's King Kong, the Peter Jackson film.
What I
Thank
enjoy about Kong Skull Island is that Kong actually looks like Kong. I mean, he's not.
massive.
I like Peter Jackson's King Kong, but it is basically just a big gorilla. And King Kong has Kong in Skull Island. He's got a different look to him, where he can like stand up fully. He can walk about like a human, as he could in the other original films as well. It was a guy in a suit, and he looks like that, but in a more realistic way. If you get what I'm saying.
Okay, with like King Kong's size, if you go back and watch the original, it's all over the place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like you know, he'll be holding a doll of a woman, and she'll be like half the size.
Yeah,
of him.
she'll be like that big, and then she'll be like that
and then it
big,
will cut, and then there'll be like
and then she's
she'll be
standing
tiny,
in his hand.
standing his hand. In Peter Jackson's King Kong the movie, I'm not sure what they did to find his height. I'm sure what they probably did was like, this is how big the Empire State Building is. This is how big he is in comparison to the Empire State.
I think they
State
say in
Building,
that movie he's like 25 feet.
25 feet.
Yeah, 25
yeah.
foot gorilla.
Yeah.
which is huge.
Yeah, it's really big, but it's
uh,
nowhere near as big as Kong in Skull Island.
God no, he fights. Well, he's like half a mile tall.
Yeah,
it feels
he's
like.
enormous.
and they said he's still growing.
Yeah.
They said in the movie he's still growing, which works for the showdown that we're gonna get, Kong versus Godzilla, which is gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
So he can still grow by the time they meet. Harry, you don't look impressed by any of this.
I was actually thinking about one thing that I saw, which I found very impressive. The amount of detail that went into Peter Jackson's King Kong the movie.
Yeah.
Is that they for the sound design, there are certain bits where King Kong is sitting and eating some branches. I think
I
it's the bit
remember that. Yeah.
is the bit where Naomi Watts is trying to hide from him, like
Yeah.
run past him. And they actually went out and found large sort of trunks of wood that were relative to the size that he would be eating, and then like stepped on it and tried to mash it up as best as possible to mimic the sound of masticating and sort of breaking, which I thought was fascinating with the film. There's a lot of detail that went into it. And I get what you mean about Kong and his size in Skull Island, because he it is a throwback to the way he was.
Yeah.
But also, I like the fact that Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong, is an actual gorilla, because that's what he's supposed to be.
Yep.
A gorilla. The only reason that he was anything different.
Oh.
Sorry, that was excellent. Sorry.
He was an actual gorilla.
Yeah, the only reason he was anything different in the first one was because people at the time didn't know how to make gorillas.
That's
and-
true. It was literally just a guy in a suit.
Yeah. And so,
Under
Wasn't it
like
stop motion?
in some places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah.
and I honestly, I really like the film because it's an epic, and I thought of a way to view it as if because Denham, is his name Jack Denham?
Which one's that?
Carl-
The hero?
Carl Denham. Thank you.
Is that the hero? Of
No, that's Jack Black.
Is that the dick guy? No, the guy that likes the girl.
That's Jack Driscoll.
Thank you.
Driscoll. Is Denham the dickhead one?
He's the director, Jack
Yeah.
Black.
Oh, sorry, yes. Okay.
Yeah, Carl Denham. Is if you view the entire movie, the 3-hour-long epic movie, as his dream
Yeah.
as to what he wants the movie to look like. If you get what I mean.
Oh, okay.
So that's why you have the grand moment when they finally chloroform Kong to sleep. That he stands there on the boat like, Kong, the fifth one of the world, well, eighth one of the world. There, fifth.
So
yeah.
so it's sort of, if you watch it as if it's a kind of documentary about like the making of the film.
No. Because I think that's how it on one level it's supposed to be viewed. But if you view it as this is Carl Denham telling the story, because you have to feel like this is actually happening. It's Carl Denham telling the story, but it's the most fantasized story it could ever be. You know, the fact that he met Anne as a young penniless actress, and then they whisked her away on this boat, and she had a few comical moments where she got confused as to who the playwright was, and it's all very funny.
Yeah,
If you view it in that way, where it's this long epic story being told by Denham himself, then the ending where he has the final word makes a bit more sense.
It was beauty that killed the beast.
Exactly.
Still, it's very long. And it's a long time before anything interesting happens. I get what you're saying, but it's what, like 48, 47 minutes before we see Kong?
Yeah.
In that movie?
Compared to Skull Island,
Skull Island, first 5 minutes.
the first scene, like, it's...
I'm just glad it wasn't released last year with all the Harambe stuff.
Oh god, yeah, thank you.
I'm just glad that like there is probably another podcast out there, or maybe this podcast
The
in a
Harambe
parallel
podcast.
universe, who were just talking about it's like Harambe but bigger. Kill me.
So what are your thoughts on King Kong, Scott?
My thoughts, I personally have no quarrel. Of course, I've seen the Peter Jackson movie, video game, hologram movie.
Are you a fan?
And it was exactly what I expected it to be. After watching it, it didn't disappoint me. It didn't amaze me. It was just as I expected it. And I haven't seen Skull Island, but what footage I have seen of it, of course, I do agree with all of you. Kong looks huge, and I think with a movie like that, it's important to make him look gigantic instead of just a big gorilla man. And also the emphasis on the island being and not all the emphasis on Kong, like Peter Jackson was sort of leaning towards.
Yeah, although I'd say Skull Island is better explored in Peter Jackson's version than in Skull Island.
Oh,
to
fair
be
enough.
honest, yeah.
I haven't seen Skull Island.
In what way? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I think
better explored.
I don't know. Like, I think Peter Jackson managed to make Skull Island look a lot more creepy and intense. A lot of what we saw in Kong,
It was pretty.
it was pretty,
Oh, yeah.
but it all just looked the exact same. Really, to be honest, there wasn't.
It reminded me of like when they're flying in on the helicopters. It reminded me of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, yeah. that was a great scene with the helicopters. But I don't know. I like that.
I think it's difficult to compare the two because they don't follow the same King Kong storyline.
It's not the same classic
They,
story.
yeah, but they both have that same sort of theme of, you know, stop going to these places and fucking them up,
Yeah.
Yeah,
essentially.
but they don't take Kong from one environment to another. They don't take him to New
No,
York. There's
no,
no
no,
showdown
no.
in the city.
No.
He's never on top of a building fighting aeroplanes, although he does fight helicopters.
No, but we still have that okay, American army men are going to come and sort it out. Don't worry, we've got it.
Samuel
We're going to kill the
Jackson's
beast
gonna fight
because of revenge
Yeah,
and because it's a beast,
yeah.
which I believe they say a fair few times. Yeah, it's Beauty and the Beast, but probably less box office revenue.
I mean, considerably less box office
Yeah.
revenue.
I mean, what did it make at the box office?
I can. You give me
Skull
one, I'll
Islands.
get that information up for you right now, Scott. Just
Lovely.
talk amongst yourselves.
Harry, how would you book Skull Island if you were in charge of the story and someone came up to you and said, right, we want to make another King Kong film. We want it to be called Kong and the Chamber of Secrets or Skull.
I also
How
have
would
the
you write the film? How would you write it?
Nathan, you have this information?
Yeah, I do. So Skull Island, Kong Skull Island, had a budget of 185 million production budget, so that's not including
Fucking
marketing or anything.
Yeah.
Domestic total as of right now, as of March 22nd, is 117,195,645 pounds. With the foreign box office, it's 151. No, another 151 on top of that.
Okay.
So it's overall it's 268,795,000, which is probably once you factor in marketing, it's probably just over breaking even. So it's doing okay. It's doing alright. It's nothing to be fucking disappointed in at all, because it's very, it's probably quite good.
Yeah, and wow, what an investment! 185 million.
I know. Let me look up the Peter Jackson's numbers. King Kong overall total gross was 218,080,000, which isn't that much, really.
No, I thought it was a lot more.
It's not all
Yeah.
about the money.
It's not.
All right.
But if you're a studio, it is.
Well, when you're making an epic like King Kong, a beautiful love story between woman and large ape. When you're making a
Oh wait,
beautiful,
sorry, I gave you the wrong information there. The number I read out for King Kong was domestic total, not worldwide.
but
So altogether, it did okay. It's 550,517,000.
well, it's all about the money, Nathan. And if you can bring home that dollar, if you can tell the story, the love story between Big Ape and Little Woman to as many
the
people
weird bestiality story.
to
Though.
as many people as possible, then you've done your job good.
Do you not think it's weird though? That
I think I personally do not like Naomi Watts as an actress, and I can't remember which one of you are saying it to.
is it Naomi? It's not Naomi Watts and Peter Jackson, is it?
Oh, it's either her or Nicole Kidman, but
It's
either
Nicole
way,
Kidman.
I think it's Nicole Kidman.
I hate them both. They just so happen to be both white women who
Yeah.
are from Australia. I dislike them both. Is that they? I'm pretty sure it's Naomi Watts.
It's Naomi Watts.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done.
Don't you question me
Yeah,
on my
so
your applause on.
King Kong knowledge. Don't. Okay.
Sorry, you're back.
Is the fact that I can't remember what I was going to say. I've lost steam now.
Sorry.
Go on, get back to it. He's doing a good job. Andy Serkis was great as Kong, and he was also great as that weird chef guy as well. Was he the chef?
Lumpy.
Lumpy.
Yeah.
One of
And
the rare
his-
roles.
His death was fucking scary when I was a kid.
Did he have the fucking insect thing on his head and then one on his leg as well? Was he that guy?
Yeah, like he was using like
he was chopping them down, wasn't he?
and he got his arm and it was
Yeah. And then one got his
yeah.
head.
yeah,
And then that scene is creepy as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Because there's no music to it either,
exactly.
and it's so eerie.
See, it's
Ugh.
great.
It is good.
Because you got a love story. You got a funny little
It's
segment.
one love story in a movie about a giant fucking monkey,
Hold
though.
on. You got a love story. You got a funny little kooky sitcom on the boat. You got an action.
Would not
You
call
got
it that.
you got an action film. You got an
action film.
action film.
You've got an action scene.
You got running between dinosaurs
That's
with
a good scene.
with raptors trying to chase you. You got Zed Rexes trying to eat you, 3 of them, and then King Kong comes along and funds them up. And then out of nowhere, you know what you got? You got yourself a horror film.
Do you know what else
It's
he
all
got?
film.
Do you know what else he got?
What's he got?
It is
The
all
one
film.
thing that 2005 Peter Jackson's King Kong has that 2017
Oh.
Skull Island does not
I'm
have.
sorry, did you mean everything?
Well, no. But just one more thing. A video game.
Yeah. There you go.
It is best movie.
It's not best movie. It's good
No,
movie.
It's not best movie.
It's good movie. It's a good movie, but it's not best movie. I don't know why you're in Russian.
I like
That was
to
Russian.
I like things to be rated.
Fuck off.
I like quantifying things. So
What would you give it out of 10?
I'd give it a solid 9.
A solid 9?
9.5.
You really
honestly.
would give it a solid 9?
Yes, I would, honestly. Scott, what would you give it?
I'm going to incredibly disappoint you and say it. For me, it's a solid. Now, see, I don't get when people rate things out of 10 and they say, "Oh, 5, that's really low. That's really harsh." It's the average. It's in between 1 and 10. So I'm going to give it a 5. For me, it's a very average, down the middle film. It's what I expect out of a big budget film. It's the exact epitome of everything a big budget film needs.
Fair.
Garrett?
For the same reason as Scott, I think that like those ratings are arbitrary, so I'm gonna give it a breakfast burrito out of 10.
Please don't be a dick and just...
I'm deadly serious.
I accept it as an answer.
Okay, cool.
Breakfast burritos are pretty average.
Kai?
After watching the original 1933 version, I'm going to give it a 7.5, I think. Because
Okay.
the original is just shocking.
I think I would have been the same as Scott, and I would have given it a 5 had it not been for what you just said, Harry, and reminding me about the creepy horror scenes and everything that you actually do get in that movie, which is quite a lot of good stuff now that I think about it. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 overall. However, I would give Kong Skull Island an 8 out of 10.
Ooh.
Just slightly over.
Well.
What's
Nathan?
wrong with the face?
Kong Skull Island was an enjoyable film. I didn't come away from it thinking anything other than, wow, that was a good way for them to set up Godzilla's next film.
I came away from it thinking, what a fun movie. I had a really good time watching that. I like the action scenes. I like the monkey.
I enjoyed it
I
a
feel
lot.
like it was money well spent. Also, I ate some popcorn.
Anyway, back to the rating systems.
Yes.
I, as much as possible, try and stay the fuck away from rating anything out of 10 or any kind of number, because people don't look at numbers in an objective way. They don't say 5 is an average movie. I will neither enjoy nor hate. It will just be an okay experience. They see, oh, it's below 7. I'm not going to go and see it.
Some people do.
I agree, because what I said with the whole 5 thing earlier brings back a memory from my past. Back in secondary school, my best friend got a dare to rate every girl in the present room out of 10, and he's a very stubborn, very very logical, very mathematically driven man.
Autistic.
Borderline.
Oh.
So so he was very honest and like stated afterwards, after a lot of girls got offended, that 5 is the average. Mathematically, 5 is dead down the center of...
You're mathematically attractive.
Mathematically average.
When I try and rate things, I try and go with a yes or a no. If you enjoy Peter Jackson's King Kong, the movie, the video game, the movie, you may enjoy films like Watchmen or Avatar.
That's what Rotten Tomatoes is, though. Most people don't think that Rotten Tomatoes is a yes or no system, but it absolutely is. Either you rate it fresh or you don't, and then that's what generates the score it has.
Right,
at the
but
end of the
but
day.
the score is a number. It's
The
not,
score is a
it's
number,
not
but it is
fresh
still
or
a yes
run.
or no
No, it's
system.
not.
It is.
It is not. It's a number. Nobody says fresh or rotten. They say
do.
it's got
They
a-
said it's
no,
certified fresh or certified rotten.
Yeah, fucking Rotten Tomatoes themselves fucking says that. But people say, no, it has a 98, or it has a 70, or it has a 22 on Rotten Tomatoes. That is what they say. They do not say rotten, they do not say fresh, because no one cares. No one says yes or no.
I think people do care.
No, they don't.
I
No,
care.
no,
because it's-
no, they don't.
They do.
They don't.
I know quite a few people
Because
who do.
there's no other way to try and judge it. Because if you're putting yes or no, it's still going to come out as an average. That's what the percentage is.
Yeah,
And so unless you want to read through thousands of fucking comments about, hey, is Kong Skull Island good? then please be my guest. But if I want to sort of get the average sort of person's view on what this film was like, I'm gonna take a look at the fucking number.
No, I
It's true,
understand.
yeah.
I'm just saying it's an arbitrary number that really doesn't mean anything to each person, because everybody's version of a film is different.
That's what I'm going to say. These things are just completely subjective.
Yeah.
They're movies, and everyone's going to have a
Well,
different opinion.
which is why I feel like rating systems should be more like, if you enjoy this, then you'll
But then
enjoy
that
this.
just completely negates the reason for a review. Like, what's the point?
No, it doesn't. You can review
does.
something and say yes or no, and this is like this, so you may enjoy this. It has elements of this, so you may enjoy this.
I think this relates back to the conversation.
Disagree.
I think this relates back to the conversation we were having before the actual podcast. It was being recorded, but I doubt it's going to stay in. And it was that, like,
Definitely won't.
yes, and we were talking about how we get marked at this university, and how it's odd because films are definitely a kind of art, and it's nigh on impossible to rate art on a spectrum. You can't say this art is bad. Like, if anyone walks around the Tate, looks at like I don't know, a shoelace attached to a dead seal puppet, they'll be like, I don't relate to this piece of art.
How was
when-
that the first thing that came into
I
your
don't
head?
know, Kai. But no, I like they come along and look at that and think, someone will think I don't relate to that, and someone else will think, oh my god, the depth and the meaning behind that. It's like you said, it's completely subjective, and it's difficult to put art on a scoreboard or a spectrum because there's so many different branches, there's so many different ways it can go. There's still new genres of film and video game and and theatre or anything. There's still new genres being created every day. Boundaries keep being pushed every day, and how can you measure that on a spectrum? It's impossible, absolutely impossible.
I give that sentence and sort of paragraph there a 9 out of 10.
I was just thinking throughout all of that, Garrett being asked, like, on the street or something, like a survey, like, so on a scale of 1 to 10,
Scores aren't real, man.
yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the government's initiative to fill in potholes?
No.
I beg your pardon.
Want more potholes, please?
It's on a scale of 1 to 10. What score would you give it between 1 and 10?
I'm sorry, am I supposed to answer about potholes?
Yes.
Because I'm from Devon. So
Nobody
don't have
asked me.
potholes in
that would be
Devon?
that would be a
There are
sad,
plenty.
broken breakfast burrito out of 10.
You don't have potholes in Devon?
No, our roads are just potholes.
Devon is just
think-
one big pothole.
Yeah,
It is.
It's the same.
With the
it's
amount,
same,
like even drugs wise, it is just a hole of pot.
it's the same,
But,
same for old Southampton as well.
Cool. Personally, I disagree. I like review scores.
I
I
might-
enjoy it. It helps me, I think.
I might head off.
Yeah,
Okay.
should we wrap up?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
So wrap up, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Is there anything I need to say?
This is the first
No.
podcast without a game.
I don't think it is.
This
I
is
think-
the second podcast without a game.
Yeah, we've had quite a few podcasts.
If you're listening to this and you feel let down by us not including a game, and it's in fact your favourite part of the podcast, please actually message us on Twitter.
let us know at your OP sucks.
Yes.
At your
Or-
op sucks.
Or call us at a number, any number, like you
Four.
did earlier.
If you, it was quite fun reading out people's comments. I mean, it was Lawrence and Will, who we know. But if you want to get in a little comment, a little question, a little whatever, send it into at your op sucks,
Mhm.
and we might just give it a little read out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been Nathan.
I've been Kai.
I think I've been Harry.
I know I've been Scott.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Out of 10.
What a dickhead. Scores are real. Turned off his mic.
Review scores was an inside job.
I turned off his mic. Bush did 9/11.